Hi everyone, this is Jed Schlackman and I'm a holistic counselor and spiritual energy healer. And for this particular video I'll be speaking about some metaphysical topics, especially about how we tend to project what we carry within our own consciousness into our perception of the world around us. So there's the saying, as within, so without, and also the principle that all is one and one is all. So creation is kind of like a mirror for consciousness. Whatever we're thinking and feeling about ourself or aspects of ourself, we tend to start perceiving in the world around us. Often what happens is that we have some lack of self-love or lack of self-acceptance. We're carrying some self-criticism or self-judgment, some resentment toward ourselves or anger, perhaps some guilt or shame. This may also stem from our early relationships, where we're carrying strong emotions toward significant people in our life, and we're sort of harboring that unconsciously or subconsciously within us. We never really released it or resolved it or let go of it. And now we're starting to replay it in our perceptions and interactions with other people in our life, even people that we may not even know, just people that are presented in the media, in the mass consciousness. So it's helpful to stop and pause and reflect on your own feelings, your own emotions, your own reactions to whatever your attention is drawn toward in the world around you. If something seems to continue to hold or grab your attention, it often has some significance for you. It's revealing or reflecting something about yourself, about some unhealed issue within you. We often forget that we're not really meant to control the whole world around us, to change everything that's happening in existence that appears external to us. Ultimately, our challenge is to transform what we carry within our own consciousness. So in that sense, healing is an inside job. It doesn't require or demand that anyone external to you change. It doesn't require that the external circumstances and phenomena shift or change in some way in order for you to feel self-love and self-acceptance, in order for you to have inner peace or harmony within your own being. The external reality is kind of like a prop that's used by your consciousness to create this story that gives rise to your thoughts, to your feelings and emotions. It's very easy to get caught up in judging and condemning other people, circumstances that we see outside of ourselves. And certainly there are things in the external world that we don't approve of or condone, things that we would like to see change or transform. And we can play some role in promoting positive shifts or changes in the external world. We can even be a good example or role model where we make a positive shift in our life, and that sets an example for other people to perceive or recognize, and to follow that example to create some positive change in their life. However, if we look out to the external world, if we observe things that we don't approve of or condone, and we get attached to feeling angry, feeling upset, feeling hostility toward people that we see as in some way negative or abusive, if we start to activate that vibration of anger and judgment, of hostility and antagonism within ourselves, we're merely contributing to more of the same in a certain sense. So what you resist persists is a common saying, and by resisting, it's more about your vibrational energy. It's not necessarily that you're taking some action externally to promote change. It's that even as you may take that action or not take an action, you're feeling this emotional resistance, this judgment or condemnation of the external reality of people, events, and circumstances that are outside of yourself, that are ultimately beyond your own individual control. What you do truly have control over is yourself. Ideally, we would have control over ourselves. We would be able to shift our own energetic state, our own thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and emotions. And as we shift those, we'll naturally have a shift in what we go into resonance with in the external or outside world. So if you would like to experience things shifting in that external reality, it really is vital to shift and to have some healing process occur within your internal reality. If you're carrying some hate or judgment toward yourself, if you're carrying unresolved emotions toward people who are significant roles or characters within your own personal life, if you're not happy with yourself, if you're feeling that you are rejected, that you are abandoned, that you are neglected or abused, if you feel as though you are a victim of life's circumstances and you don't heal or release those beliefs and feelings, then it's the job of creation to continue to reflect or mirror things back to you that reflect your own vibration, your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Our natural tendency, based upon how our ego or human mind works, is to put the blame on how we're feeling on the external circumstances. So we may complain that our life isn't going the way we like, that we're not happy, that we're not fulfilled, because perhaps people in your past did abusive things to you, because the world is unjust and unfair, there's equality all around us, and so on. And so, of course, all of those realities in some sense exist, and people are free to have those types of experiences. In fact, creation is meant to contain all potentials and all possibilities. Everything that you could potentially imagine, whether you perceive or think of it as positive or negative, exists as a potential or possibility that will in some sense inevitably be experienced by some aspect of consciousness. But if you wish to no longer experience those realities that you perceive as undesirable, it would be important for you to release any resistance you're carrying toward those realities. So for you to release your anger, your judgment, your fear, your guilt and shame, all of those types of frequencies that carry a tension or density to them, they create that resistance and that entanglement with those realities. One common pattern is what people refer to as victim consciousness, where we're continuing to blame our undesired circumstance or things that are making us unhappy in our life on things other people have done to us, on things about the world around us that we perceive as in some manner keeping us down or inhibiting our ability to have peace and joy. However, if we would like to have more peace and joy, more love for ourselves, and receiving more love for others, it's important to start shifting that energy within ourselves. If we expect to wait for other people to change, for the world around us to evolve into some different state, into some optimal society or utopian civilization, then we may never really get to have that experience of peace and joy that we desire. We can't really control all those things outside of ourselves. We only have the direct power to shift the frequency and energy within ourselves. So I would encourage each of you to devote more attention to that inner healing process, to not blame your lack of joy and fulfillment, your lack of peace and harmony on all the other people and circumstances around you. If you see things in the world around you that you find unsettling or disturbing or things that you disapprove of, and you would like to be an agent of change, so to speak, to contribute something positive to shifting those realities, a really good initial step is to release your emotional reactions to those phenomena. So you can observe and have some evaluation or assessment of those realities and conceive of something that's potentially better. But if you start to try to take action toward those shifts or changes you wish for from a state of anger, of condemnation, of fear, and so on, then that energy is likely to influence what's really happening or manifesting in the external perceived reality. So it will tend to help foster or attract more of those very same things that you don't desire. You might take action externally to exert control over things, to try to influence or force other people to change, to bring about what you think is a better reality. But by you forcing and trying to impose your will in that manner, you may only get some temporary result, or you may see something change in a desired way in one area or aspect of life, but then the same type of theme comes up in another area where something else appears to get you upset and disturbed, to bring about your agitation and your lack of peace. So it's almost sometimes like a whack-a-mole game where you address something that pops up in one area and then something else pops up in another area related to the same theme or pattern, because you're not really getting at the root of things. You're not fostering a shift in yourself, or you're not healing or forgiving something that you experienced in another time. You're not returning to your sense of oneness or wholeness, of union with the divine, with the source of all life. So this is some really kind of deep, nuanced metaphysical understanding for us to explore. It's easy to react to things from our human perspective, from our sense of what we value, of what we might see as right or wrong, desirable or undesirable. But the creative source is actually allowing all of existence to manifest or unfold. It's not rejecting any possible reality. It's allowing all of them to be explored and experienced. So if we want to be more in harmony, more at one with that source consciousness, then we also need to realize that it's not our job to control every external reality, to keep other people from having their experiences, their manifested potentials. I want to thank each of you for taking your time to view this video, to explore these subjects, and to pursue your own healing. You can watch more of my videos, and you could also visit my website, phinsights.com. That's phinsights.com, to explore more information about holistic health and spirituality. For now, I'd like to wish everyone a wonderful day. Namaste.